Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends. Starring that Jet A. Jerry O'Lace, Rocket J. Squirrel, and his pal, Bullwinkle the Moose.
Hi, glad to see you again.
Likewise.
We got some great things on the show today.
Like what? Like what?
Well, you ought to know, Bullwinkle. You're in some of them.
Well, let's get started.
Well, last time, you remember, our heroes were being pursued by the very thing they were out to capture, Maybe Dick the Wailing Whale. Bullwinkle did his best to pedal them to safety, and it looked for a while as if he would succeed. But then Captain Peachfuzz pulled the wrong lever and...
Isn't that typical of me, though?
You can stop pedaling now, Bullwinkle.
Yeah. Sure got late early, didn't it?
It's not late, Bullwinkle.
Well, then how come it's so dark like? Must be having an eclipse.
No, I don't know how to say this, Bullwinkle.
Well, try saying it in Czechoslovakian.
You can understand Czechoslovakian?
I'm always pretty good at picking up the Czech.
That's it, Bullwinkle. Go ahead and laugh.
Okay. Hey, that's pretty hollow laughter.
Light a light and you'll see why.
And in the glow of a candle, Bullwinkle did see why, for high above them arched the interior of Maybe Dick.
You mean we've been swallowed by Maybe Dick?
Looks like.
But just then our heroes heard a strange sound above them.
Good heavens, what's that?
Must be Maybe Dick's stomach rumbling.
Maybe something he ate disagreed with him.
Yeah, us. Hey, where's that noise coming from, Bullwinkle?
From the top of these stairs.
Stairs? Bullwinkle!
Certainly. See, they go right up stairs.
In a whale?
Maybe he's subletting to a flounder.
Hey, now, wait just a minute.
And grabbing a nearby wrench, the plucky squirrel reached over and tapped one of Maybe Dick's ribs.
You won't get anywhere tickling him, Rocky.
No, listen to that.
Sounds like an ordinary steel beam to me.
That's it. Maybe Dick is made out of steel.
Boy, he's tougher than I thought.
Don't you see? That means he isn't a whale at all. He's a ship, and I'll bet he's a pirate ship.
Right you are, little busybody.
And as our boys stared upward in terror, a menacing figure stalked to the top of the stairs. A menacing figure that somehow looked vaguely familiar.
Who are you?
Yeah, we know that, but what's your first name?
Allow me to introduce myself. Captain Horatio Hornswoggle at your service.
Captain Horatio Hornswoggle.
My card.
Haven't we met before, Captain Hornswoggle?
I doubt it, you swab.
I'm sure I've seen him somewhere, Bullwinkle.
I know where.
Where?
That patch on his eye reminded me. I saw his picture in a magazine. He was selling shirts.
No, that's somebody else.
All right, you sea cooks, come up those stairs with your hands up.
What are you going to do with us, Captain Hornswoggle?
Yes, as one captain to another, why are we here?
I just wanted somebody to play with Rollo.
Rollo?
Yes, he gets lonesome.
Well, we'll be glad to cheer up the little fellow. Where is he?
Come on out, Rollo.
And around the corner came Rollo.
Yikes!
Rollo was not a little feller. He was a giant ape, 8 feet tall in his sneakers.
And he looks like 8 feet of pure mean.
I brought some people to play with Rollo last week, but they didn't work out.
What happened?
He broke them.
We're pretty bustable ourselves, you know.
No, I don't know, but I'll find out. Okay, Rollo.
And the huge monster lumbered nearer and nearer to our friends. Don't miss our next spine-tingling episode.
And that's my own personal spine he's talking about.
Playtime for Rollo or Rest in Pieces.
Once upon a timeless night, a miller who lived in a cottage deep in the woods made a sudden discovery.
Who are you?
I am your daughter, dear Daddy Miller.
A day or so later, the miller was again astounded.
And who are you?
I'm your other daughter, dear Father Miller.
Yes, the miller had been so busy with his mill that he'd failed to notice his two little girls had grown up. They were named Slow White and Nose Red, and for a very good reason.
Is that the bucket of water I asked you to fetch last summer, Slow White?
Indeed it is.
Well, it's frozen over. Oh, my, but you're slow.
As for Nose Red, she had an irresistible hunger for apples, and after consuming an orchard full, her nose turned red.
Is that a basket full of apples you have there, Daddy?
My, but you're nosy.
The girls, despite their shortcomings, were as sweet and gentle as the days were long.
Oh, look at that poor bear sleeping in the mud. Let us take him home and give him sucker. You mean a lollipop? No, some aid and comfort.
Don't bother to fix my dinner, children. I've been working hard down by the old mill stream, and I'm too tired to eat or sing it.
We may be as sweet and gentle as the days are long, but we forgot to tell Father we put the bear in his bed. Well, he likes surprises.
Not this one, he didn't. That night, the miller slept in the mud, and at breakfast the following morning...
Daddy, that mud did wonders for you. Yes, your acne is completely gone.
So is my sense of humor.
Daddy seems upset about something. Maybe it's the mud.
It took a bit of doing, but the miller eventually became adjusted to his daughter's unconventional habits. That is, until one day...
Slow and Nose, you have made a lifelong friend out of every animal in the forest, and in the 11 western states, too, I might add. Each day they come to our door for food, and you give it to them. They've been doing this for 3 years, and now we're broke.
But we must continue to feed the poor creatures.
What with? We're out of food.
Well, how about giving them sucker?
Well, we're out of them, too, even though there is one born every minute. I'll tell you what. I'll make you a package deal. You girls get married, send me money, and I'll see to it the animals are fed.
That's a wonderful idea, dear Daddy Miller.
Without any further ado, Slow White and Nose Red set off for the nearby village. But although the village was only a half a mile away, it took them a year and a half to get there, due to the fact that Slow White was so slow and Nose Red climbed every apple tree they passed. Then, too, the lights were against them. Everything worked out for the best, however, for when they did arrive, the annual bachelor's ball was in progress.
Do my eyes deceive me? Look at those two stunning creatures.
Gad, they're beautiful.
How true. The most beautiful girls at the dance.
They were the most beautiful girls at the dance, mainly because they were the only girls at the dance.
Pardon us, fair maidens. But would you care to trip the light fantastic?
We'd rather dance.
You have to give the girls credit. At least they tried, but in vain, for although Nose Red was light on her feet, the light of her red nose blinded her partner, causing him to crash into the wall. Slow White, on the other hand, was slower than usual, and by the time she lifted her foot to take the first step, the music was over, and so was the ball.
Don't cry, Slow White. We'll find husbands. That's not why I'm crying. You're standing on my foot.
But luck was with them, for the very next day was the day of the annual bachelor's picnic. Just as before, they were the most attractive girls at the gathering, and for the same reason as before.
I shall do the cooking.
Slow White turned on the gas stove and struck the match 45 minutes later.
Well, your troubles are over. Go to this address. Inside the cottage, you will meet two brothers who are your perfect match.
Oh, Mr. Marriage Counselor Hacken, we thank you.
With money.
Snow White and Nose Red scuttled off, their miller's daughter's hearts beating in wild anticipation.
I hope this doesn't turn out to be another fiasco.
You'll be happy to know that everything turned out perfectly. For you see, Slow White knocked on the door of the cottage, and it didn't open until 2 years later.
Oh, my, but you're slow.
And you, fair maiden, are my true love.
Yes, Slow White had met someone even slower than she. And Nose Red? Well, the other brother was a strapping, handsome brute. He had one slight blemish, a green nose.
I'm Irish, you know.
Oh, this too was a dream match, for when you get a green nose and a red nose, well, it's Christmas every day. Slow White and Nose Red lived happily ever after. I wish I could say the same for their father.
I'm not a father, actually. I'm a mudder.
I was wondering why they always call me Fathead. Hello there, friends. Today our subject is from my bestseller, How to Win Friends and Be Influential with People. I quote, pick out something about a person that you admire, tell them about it, and they will surely be your friend. Pardon me kindly, sir, but I couldn't help admiring your hair. You certainly are fortunate to have such fine, sturdy, good-looking, healthy, well-groomed hair. Mind if I take it home and admire it under a better light? Learn the interests and hobbies of those you would like to have as your friends. That's why I have thoroughly studied all the subjects that interest this man that's coming now. Hello there again, kindly sir. You may be interested to know that I am an expert on bowling, baseball, and croquet. Those are his favorites. From my best-selling page 35, I quote, sometimes those you seek may seem standoffish. It's just that they are shy. Obviously the case here. It simply means you must bring them out by doing little favors for them. Let me carry your package, kindly, sir. Oh, I insist. Now you'll see the beginning of a real friendship.
Gee, Mr. Know-It-all, can't you win any friends with that book of yours?
Oh, sure, Rock. One man promised to be my friend for the rest of my life because of this book.
Who is that?
The publisher. I promised never to write another one.
Toronto, second city of Canada, and name of the masked man's Indian friend. And it is here in downtown Toronto at the corner of 4th and Kimosabe that the Royal Canadian Museum of Art is located. Inside this hallowed structure, some of the world's most priceless masterpieces hang on public display. For instance, Newton Figby's immortal self-portrait, Newt descending a staircase. And here is that villainous viper, Snidely Whiplash, whose black cape matches the color of his heart.
You offend me, sir, and wrongly so, for you see, I have given up my nefarious ways for the guise of respectability. I am now a photographer.
Photographer?
Yes, I take pictures.
A week went by during which the Bear Spot took first prize at an international art festival. Then a museum guard discovered the theft.
One of our art craft is missing.
A massive air and sea search was launched. Finally, that proud and noble force was called upon, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Do right, have you seen my desk?
You are sitting behind it, sir.
Oh, yes, there it is.
The man with the coffee-stained mustache is Inspector Fenwick, who sold the Saturday Evening Post before he took this post over. Standing in the Mountie uniform is our stalwart hero, Dudley Do-Right.
You said you had a job for me, Inspector.
What are you working on now, Do-Right?
Well, you might say I am digging a hole behind the barracks.
Are you digging a hole behind the barracks?
Yes, sir.
Well, I have a more important assignment for you. I want you to dig a hole in front of the barracks.
Suddenly, an orderly dashed in and handed the inspector a copy of the Toronto Tribune.
Oh, good grief, this is terrible.
What is it, sir?
Somebody's already done the crossword puzzle.
The headline regarding the missing masterpiece eventually came to their attention.
Good luck, Do-Right.
Good luck to you too, sir.
Why are you wishing me good luck?
But aren't you going with me?
Oh, no, I can't stand Toronto.
Dudley was well schooled in the ways of the criminal mind. He knew that whomever stole the painting would try to sell it to a fence. Unfortunately, the only fence Dudley knew was of the picket variety.
All right, fence, where is the stolen picture? So, you won't talk, eh? Very well.
Dudley had ripped half of it out of the ground when his steel blue eyes noticed a poster tacked to the far end.
Come to Niagara and wrestle. 2 falls out of 3. By George, there is a clue if ever I saw one.
In those days, the only way to get to Niagara Falls was on a steamboat.
We're extremely overcrowded, Constable, but if you don't mind sharing a stateroom with another gentleman...
Not at all, Captain. And, oh, here, put this fence in the brig.
The gentleman who thought he had stateroom 202 all to himself was, of all people, Snidely Whiplash.
Not only will I get out of Toronto, but in an hour or 2, I'll be out of Canada.
Hello there, sir. I'm your new roomie.
Do-Right.
Whiplash! Aha! So it was you.
Unfortunately, next to the picture was an incomplete game of tic-tac-toe.
Oh, say, look what we have here.
Dudley finished the game, and Whiplash finished Dudley. Grabbing the painting, Snidely dashed up to the main deck.
Quick, stop the boat. There's a man overboard.
Who?
Me.
And over he went. An hour later, he arrived at an airfield where he successfully took off in a plane. Seconds later, he was high over Toronto.
I have never been high over Toronto.
Unknown to the scallywag, Dudley wasn't far behind. He, too, had swum to shore and was at that very moment on Toronto's busiest street looking up at the fleeing airplane.
I know that Immelman anywhere. Whiplash is in that plane.
Acting without hesitation, he jumped into the nearest taxicab.
Quick, follow that plane.
But what he had gotten into was an automatic photo booth. He didn't go anywhere, but he did get a beautiful set of glossy 8x10s.
Faster, driver!
It's hard to believe, but everything worked out just fine. For you see, Whiplash had borrowed a plane that was extremely low on fuel. He was forced down while flying directly over the Mountie post. Matter of fact, he crashed right through the inspector's wall, just as Dudley walked in the door.
Whiplash, Do-Right.
Curses.
You've done it again, Do-Right. You've captured Whiplash and recovered the painting.
Let me tell you about the taxicabs in Toronto, sir.
Later, my boy. All right, Whiplash, hand over the painting.
You take one step and I'll set fire to it.
He is bluffing, Inspector.
And Dudley calmly took the painting.
Do-Right, what a magnificent display of guts.
Not really, sir. You see, this painting is coated with a non-combustible oil. It won't burn. Watch.
The museum can't thank you enough for recovering Newt descending a staircase, Inspector.
All in the line of duty, sir. Right, Do-Right?
If you say so, sir.
Well, the secret is out. Maybe Dick, the mysterious whaling whale, is nothing more or less than an enormous pirate ship run by that prince of schnooks, Boris Baden.
Please, Captain Horatio Hornswoggle.
Yes, the secret is out, but our heroes are inside Maybe Dick.
Sounds like a good name for a book.
What's more, in our last episode, they received a pressing invitation to play patty cake with Rollo, an 8-foot ape.
Rollo likes to play with people. They bend so easy.
There must be some mistake. I'm not a people. I'm more of a moose.
And I'm a squirrel.
You're a people. I've been thinking of resigning.
Okay, come on, Rollo. I'll play with you.
Rocky, you flipped your goggles.
He'll crush you like an egg, Rocky.
Maybe not. Come on, Rollo.
That's right. Get it over with quick.
But as Rollo's huge paws reached for Rocky, the agile squirrel zoomed away from his grasp.
You can't catch me!
Rocky, this is no time to play tag.
Along the high platform, the giant ape blundered, following after the elusive Rocky.
Come on, Rocky!
Come on, Rollo!
Then at the end of the platform, Rocky suddenly zoomed into the air, and as Rollo reached up for him, he went over the railing and into the bilge water below.
Now, Bullwinkle, run for it!
The moose grabbed Captain Peachfuzz and dashed through a doorway behind the pirate.
But you won't get away, squirrel.
Sure enough, Boris aimed one of his flintlock pistols and fired, nearly missing our hero.
Next time for sure, kiddo.
And Boris drew a bead on the frantically flying squirrel. It looked hopeless, but just then the first bullet that Boris had fired struck a steel beam, angled off, and headed back for him.
Yikes!
Pursued closely by his own bullet, the buccaneer had only one course open.
Look out, Rollo!
Golly, that means we've won. We're in command of the Maybe Dick.
And in a little while, Rocky and his friends were in the wheelhouse high in the superstructure of Maybe Dick.
Now that things have slowed down a little, maybe you'll tell me something, Rock.
What's that?
What the ding-dong is going on anyway?
It's all right here in this log, Bullwinkle. Listen. Dear log, today decided to become a pirate. What an idea.
I can see it now. First, I built huge boat shaped like whale. Then I christened it with bottle of prussic acid. I named thee Maybe Dick. Then I install crazy whistle that goes. I adopt Rollo to help with the business. Then when sheep comes along, I blow whistle. Ship stops. I open front of Maybe Dick, swallow whole ship. Rollo and I rob everybody. Money, gold, jewels. Afterward, I let ship sail out again, halfway. No ship, no evidence, just loot. Loot! Then that miserable squirrel has to come and ruins everything.
Calm down, Boris, darling. Your neck is turning purple again.
Natasha, I've lied, cheated, stolen, double-crossed.
Yes, Boris.
Tell me, where did I go wrong?
Meanwhile, up on the bridge, our hero was jubilant.
That's Rocky.
Rocky. Little did he know that at that moment, not too far away, a squadron of land-based bomber planes was heading his way. Their mission, destroy Maybe Dick. Don't miss our next episode, A Whale of a Tale, or There She Blows Up.
Well, I guess that about wraps up another Rocky show.
Certainly hope you enjoyed it. I did. I always say.
Bullwinkle, time for us to go.
Already? Okay, but first, here are some of the people who made this show impossible.
That's not all.
The fingers get tired. Oop! Got away from me again.
Well, see you next time. Ready, Bullwinkle?